beautiful ladies. So, today I thought I would come on and talk to you about the mistakes, the most common mistakes that I see women making who are dating for marriage. They're dating for that long term commitment, partnership. And, I've seen a lot at this point. So, I want to talk to you about the 7 most common mistakes that I see. These are mistakes that I have also made, or some of them I've made. And so I think it'll be just helpful for you to get a sense of like, okay, so like if I'm trying to find this person, it's not happening, where might I be going wrong? And what might I be missing? So if you are live with me now, just say hi to me so I know who's here. Hi. And if you're catching the replay, you can do hashtag replay and let's jump in. So, number one is that you are jumping into the next relationship or the next, exclusive dating situation without understanding your part in what went wrong in the last one. And really, this can be just jumping into trying to find someone again and dating again. So, if you don't know what went wrong the last time, you won't be able to do anything differently this time. If you don't know like what the mistakes were that you made, what didn't work, why it didn't work, you're going to be in trouble, right? So, if you don't take the time to take stock and really evaluate and understand what happened and why, you're going to be repeating the same thing again. So, it's really important to take that time to do a thorough inventory of what happened and why, so you can see exactly what your role was, whether it was choosing him to begin with or forms of self-sabotage that may have popped up coming from something like attachment wounds. When you know what the thing is, sometimes it's a simple fix of like, I just won't choose that again. You've got to be careful not to just go in the opposite direction, right? Because then we can make some assumptions about why that happened that can be incorrect, right? Say you dated this really hot guy, or you've dated a couple really hot guys and they both turned out to be cheaters or jerks, or broke your heart. You want to be careful though not to jump to false conclusions like, oh, all really hot attractive men are jerks, so I'm just going to avoid them. Or I dated a man who had this particular quality I didn't like, so I'm going to go to the exact opposite. That's a danger, right? So it's good to have some outside evaluation as well, so you can make sure there's no blind spots happening. When you know what it is, if it has something to do with you, which we are always 50% in some way, right? We were in that relationship, we chose that person, then you need to do the inner work to fully let go of whatever happened, right? You need to do the inner work around your part, which we're going to talk about in number 2. But also, once you've done that inventory, you want to actually clear yourself from the past so that you're not holding on to past experiences, negative things that happened, still in love with a past ex. You don't want ghosts from the past showing up on your dates with new men, showing up in a new relationship, because that can get in the way of creating a new connection and creating a clean slate, right? You are then ending up carrying old baggage into the next relationship or with the next guy, and you can end up projecting things onto him that have nothing to do with him. It's just stuff that's not cleared from the past. So, number 2 is not doing the inner healing work. So you might realize in an evaluation of what happened in the past, you're like, okay, like there's stuff I need to work on in me. I had a part in this. What was my part? There's going to be some inner healing work to do. Being a human on this planet means that you have picked up conditioning, wounds, traumas, limiting beliefs just by living your life. Right? And a lot of these things happen when we're very young. So if you haven't done the healing work around these things, you will continue repeating the same cycles. You must heal. You must rewire your love blueprint and your old programming and conditioning around love. If you don't, you will, without fail, end up repeating the same cycle again. We all have stuff in our love blueprints, which is subconscious, which is based on woundings and false beliefs that we don't necessarily see or have awareness of. And even if we do, it sabotages us. And often we don't realize that's happening. We all have these unhelpful beliefs about ourselves, about men, about love that literally cause us to recreate the same things we didn't like again and again, usually all the way back to our childhoods, right? Usually that's where it came from originally. And so this causes us to go towards what's familiar instead of what's good and healthy for us, to settle because we don't believe we can have better or we're worthy of more, to put up walls to protect ourselves, which then holds out intimacy and love, even though love is what we most want, making us actually emotionally unavailable and therefore attracting emotionally unavailable men, because what we attract mirrors what's going on that's unhealed inside of us. And we will only be available for and capable of having a relationship that matches our level of inner healing. And ultimately, that's just the be all and end all of inner healing, right? We will only have in our lives and keep in our lives whatever matches our level of inner healing. So if you want a dream relationship, you have to do the inner work to be a match for it. So that's number 2. Number 3 is that you are not approaching dating from a high value mindset. So your mindset has a direct correlation to the quality of your results. So if you keep running into the same problems, like men who end up disappearing or men are pulling away or leading you on without committing to you, or you keep getting attached early on mentally and emotionally to men before there's a real commitment, if you are someone who gives a lot, right, and you're just giving and giving way more than you're getting back, if you are in kind of a pursuing energy and trying really hard to make something happen, that's a mindset issue. When we're talking about dating from a high value mindset, that's not coming from a high value mindset. So there are specific ways that healthy women with high self-worth date, and you can learn these mindsets and beliefs. You can learn how to approach dating in a way that will get you the results that you want, a high value commitment ready man who's right for you. But you're going to need to address your mindset, whatever is not working in there. I've had clients literally attract their dream man within like a couple weeks after we got this part straightened out. So number 4 is not being crystal clear on what to look for. And I also have to tell you, this is a really, really huge one that I see time and time again. So you slow down your path to finding your right man when you don't have crystal clarity on what to look for, what you want. Most women are looking for the wrong things when it comes to selecting their life partner. One of those reasons is because our old wounds are leading, instead of dating with emotional intelligence about what is going to make for a happy, healthy, successful long-term relationship, we also don't have good models of what to look for. So we're selecting based on old programming. We've got societal conditioning coming in and telling us, you should have this in a man, and a man needs to have this. And so with all our programming, conditioning, and just the stuff that we don't realize we should be looking for, we go after the wrong things. We don't realize what is really important. We kind of ignore red flags that later on really matter. And so you've got to learn what to actually look for. Okay, so that's number 4. Number 5 is not knowing how to build an emotional attraction with a man. So I actually did another video on this a couple days ago, but it is not the most beautiful woman in the room who wins the heart of a man for the long term. Your looks have nothing to do with it. Anything external has nothing to do with it. It's actually about a woman's ability to build emotional attraction with a man. That is what wins his heart and has him see her as the one for him for life. So if men continue to fizzle out, if they come back and tell you, I'm so sorry, but I met someone else, if they aren't willing to do anything to make you theirs, if they're not really wanting to commit to you, if you have a lot of these fizzle out situationships, all that kind of thing, especially with men who then are going on to commit to somebody else. You dated that guy, and next thing you turn around and he's married, he's engaged, he's in a serious relationship, and you're like, what the heck? It could be a sign that you are missing the essential skill of building emotional connection with a man. And if in your old relationships you felt like that connection disappeared, or you just didn't really ever have it with a man, you probably don't know how to do this. So when this is missing, men can be interested in working with us, in hiring us, in being our buddy, but they don't see us in a romantic light, and they especially don't see us as the one. So when you're on the dating apps and nothing is moving off the apps, or it finally gets onto a date and nothing moves forward, or the date doesn't even go that well, this is because you are not knowing how to create emotional connection, emotional attraction with a man. When you don't know how to do this, it just doesn't work because he doesn't feel what he needs to feel to move things forward. When you know how to create emotional attraction with a man, men cannot get enough of you, especially the right man for you. He falls for you quickly. He wants to give you the world. He wants to protect and provide for you. He wants to see you happy. He wants to be your hero. And you basically would have to fend this guy off with a stick to keep him away from you because he does not want to be away from you. So he easily and naturally wants commitment with you and wants to take things to the next level. He sees you as his one and only, that incredibly special woman who he adores. This all comes down to your ability to create emotional attraction with the right man. So I've had clients going from no dates, even though they had been messaging them online, they maybe got on a date, but it just like couldn't go anywhere, to a complete transformation where these men are just creating deep connections with her. They are really chasing her, and she's just feeling so differently with them. So number 6 is not having done the work and the healing work around your feminine energy. This is another one that is so critical. So I see a lot of women, especially high achieving, high performing women, which most of my clients would fall under that category, that they are approaching dating from a masculine energy or a false masculine energy, or sometimes a wounded feminine energy. And quality mature men are looking for a very specific quality in the women that they are going to choose to commit to. They want to feel your feminine energy. For men, feminine energy is life-giving. It gives them purpose. It makes them feel like a man. It opens their hearts. It makes the world bright and beautiful and colorful. It makes them feel incredible to be around a woman who is embodying her feminine energy. But what most women are doing is they have not done the de-armoring work around their hearts and around how they feel about themselves and with their bodies. So their feminine energy isn't flowing. They're dating from a place of trying to protect themselves with walls up, not showing who they really are, not being vulnerable in healthy connection creating ways. They are either trying to manipulate a man to fall for them. They're performing, pretending, working hard to be liked, and getting anxious or reactive when she's afraid or hurting. That can be the false masculine at play. It can be a wounded feminine at play. Or they're pushing men away because they are so guarded on defense and expecting the worst. And again, not allowing him in. That's our false masculine. They're in their heads, analyzing everything, strategizing everything, worrying about everything, trying to control outcomes, trying to make things happen. They're in that CEO energy, which is, again, that's masculine energy. It is not feminine energy. And it's not good to bring that energy into our dating with men. So we have to do that de-armoring healing work so we can show up in a different energy with men. And this is not a mind thing. It's not an information thing. This is an embodiment thing. Until that happens, nothing genuine and real can flow between a man and them, because that's just not where attraction and love and romance comes from. That's not how you're going to create that between the two of you. So this is one of the biggest factors I see time and time again. When my clients get this piece, they start being courted by these incredible high value commitment ready men. Within a month of each other, quite recently. I had 3 clients who were in committed relationships after this clicked for them, with men who really only needed to date them for like, it was like 2 months, maybe even less than that, before they were just moving things forward and like, I want to be in a relationship with you. Will you be my girlfriend? So number 7 is getting advice from the wrong places. So if you're asking people who do not have what you have, what you want, I mean, for advice, if you're going to your single friends, you are going to your married partner friends who are in relationships that you don't personally want, your therapist who's not happily partnered, women who do not have what you want, they can't actually help you, because if they knew how to get it, they would have it, right? Or this is another thing that I've seen a lot of recently, is like reading books, listening to podcasts, taking DIY courses that only give a small piece of the bigger picture. And it's not holistic because, of course, a book, a course, a podcast episode cannot give you everything, right? They are giving us pieces. And often, because it's not holistic, that advice doesn't work. It's not embodied, so it gets misapplied, or it's literally just plain bad advice. So first of all, information is not transformation. It is not, you need the embodiment, which means you need to do the inner work, the embodiment work, right? We can know all of the right things to do and still not do it. We can know the right things to do and attempt to do it, but it's not embodied, it's not authentic. And more often than not, I'm finding myself correcting ideas that clients got from some article or a podcast or they heard somewhere, because it's actually working against them. So you have to be so careful what advice you're taking and where you are going. Okay, so that's all 7. So if you're listening right now and you're like, oh my God, some of these apply to me, I want you to know that all is not lost. I'm glad you found me, because I've got what you need. I deal with all 7 of those things. And I have opened enrollment for a program I created that literally covers all the bases. It will address each of these in great depth, plus so much more, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute what all of that is. It's everything that I had to learn the hard way, to piece together from all these different places, plus then implementing and trying, like I told you, bad advice, and having some hard-earned lessons when it didn't get applied correctly, maybe it was bad advice, right? I've always been, for years and years and years, a student of relationships and love. This is why I have so much knowledge, but not just knowledge, but wisdom, because it's experiential. It is what I have literally tried, studied, and tested, trial and error on my own to figure out what actually worked so I could find my right relationship. So these are the things that we do not learn in school. There is no required curriculum that teaches us about love, right? And so this is not to make you feel shame or to feel bad if you see yourself in any of these 7 points. I am sharing this because it's probably not something you had awareness around. A lot of this may be in your blind spots, and you don't know what's not working about your approach to finding lasting love and why the right men are not showing up in your life, are not pursuing you like mad, wanting to make you happy, wanting to commit to you, even though they could be. And so that's why I've created the mastermind that I've created, which literally is the whole picture. It is holistic. It is all of the things. So I want to tell you about the High Value Woman Mastermind. So stay on here if you're interested to hear about that. So this is my 5-month group coaching program. So you not only get several specific training modules teaching you exactly how to do all of this from an authentic place, the actual tools and the embodiment, but you also get live coaching 3 times a month, and you get one-on-one calls with me for the deeper healing work. So anything that comes up along the way, you are getting coaching, right? You are coming to those calls and getting the support. This is a small group, so you will really be seen and held, and I will know exactly where you are and what's going on for you and be able to help you in the moment. There is a private Facebook group that you will get where you get support throughout the week. So let's say you get on the apps and you're messaging with a guy and you are confused about what's going on in the conversation, or you're wondering, is this a red flag, or what am I doing wrong here? And you're going to screenshot that, put that in the group, you get support. Something comes up somewhere, you're dealing with some triggers, whatever it is, you get that support. There are 8 content-packed online modules that go along with the live weekly coaching. And so this is designed in a specific order to move you through all of the things that you need in the order that you need it. There are over 50 videos, there are PDFs and worksheets in there. So module 1 is orientation. We're going to talk about how to be successful in this program. I teach you manifestation principles and the mindset for attracting love. In module 2, we go into self-awareness and emotions. So this is the inner healing work on healing core wounds and core beliefs, your inner child, regulating your nervous system, getting your body out of fight or flight, navigating triggers, and shifting limiting beliefs. Then we've got a self-love module, module 3. This is all about raising your self-confidence, your self-worth, learning to embody healthy boundaries, loving yourself. We go into clearing out shadow, and we do a lot around work with just how you see yourself. Module 4 is embodying your feminine energy so that you can have quality men pursuing you, being irresistibly drawn towards you, and learning how to receive. Feminine energy and self-worth are completely connected and combined. So this is really about your relationship with yourself. And it just so happens that when that is worked on, things shift for you romantically. Module 5 is preparation for dating. So one of the blocks that we talked about is not having done that inventory of your previous relationships, not having cleared that stuff out. So in this module, you get an understanding of what went wrong in the past. You clear out any lingering stuff around old exes or men that you dated, so you have a clean slate, and you find and remove the energetic blocks that you might still have in your life to calling that person in. Module 6 is mastering online dating. So you're going to learn how to make a magnetic profile, how to communicate with men on the apps so that you get off the apps and meet the right men as quickly as possible and avoid the major pitfalls. So creating a magnetic dating profile to attract exactly the kind of man that you want. Avoiding the major pitfalls of online dating, scammers, players, time wasters. You will learn about how the tone of your communication with the man is set from the very first message, from that first date. So you're going to learn how to communicate in a way that really works for men. Module 7 is how to date like a high value woman. So this is the mindset and the approach to think about dating and approach dating for when you're trying to date for that long-term partnership, that's commitment, that's going towards marriage. So the mindset you need to have, how to not get stuck in the trap of situationships going nowhere, identifying quality, healthy, commitment-ready men, those red flags and green flags, dealing with intimacy early on, how to stand out from all the other women he's talking to while being yourself, and handling common situations that may come up so you're not wasting time making more mistakes or trial and erroring it yourself. I've already done that. And then module 8 is understanding men. So you've got your man in your life and you're like, okay, great, what do I do? Men are not hairy women. They are different than women. And what we don't know about men can hurt us and our relationships. So you're going to learn what you need to know about men, the specific ways that they are different from us to simplify your relationships and have that love continuing to flow and not have the hurt feelings and misunderstandings. You will learn what men need to feel from us and what they need from us in order to move things forward. And habits of communication, how to communicate your needs, your feelings, and those tough things that can come up in a way that actually continues to build connection and attraction and love. So basically, you're getting your PhD in love. So clients who have gone through this work have gone on to attract their dream man in 1 month, in 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, and gotten into committed relationships with their dream man, often within 2 months of meeting him, and are still happily together years later. So if this is something that you want to explore, if this sounds like something you are ready for, then DM me for the link to schedule your consultation call to see if joining this program and working together is a fit. The results of this work will blow your mind and change your life forever. So I cannot wait to connect with you and to help you attract your dream man. So you can message me if you're interested in that. And I am going to sign off now. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.